Now, aspartame, like fluoride, causes slow, silent damage in those unlucky enough not to have an immediate reaction. In other words, if you took a poison and it caused a harmful reaction immediately, you'd stop taking it, wouldn't you? But what if your body can tolerate it and you don't notice any immediate ill effects? As the years go by, the toxic byproducts of aspartame accumulate in your body and are stored up in your fat because, as in the case of fluoride byproducts, your body can't expel them. It might take up to 40 years to notice the effects in some cases. Now, methanol, which is also known as wood alcohol, makes up 10% of aspartame. Methanol is a deadly poison. Free methanol is created when aspartame is heated above 86 degrees Fahrenheit, or 30 degrees centigrade, as in the case when used in jelly, or jello for Americans, or in the case of diet sodas when they're left out in the sun on a hot day. Now remember, your body temperature is 98.6 degrees. So the minute you ingest aspartame, even if it hasn't been heated before you got your hands on it, it begins to break down into methanol as it warms up inside your body, and it's gradually released into the small intestine. The recommended methanol consumption limit is 7.8 milligrams a day, and a 1 liter bottle of diet soda contains about 56 milligrams. So heavy users of diet soda drinks can get through as much as 250 milligrams of methanol a day, or 32 times the Environmental Protection Agency limit. The methanol in your body then breaks down into formaldehyde. Formaldehyde's a deadly poison in its own right. It's a neurotoxin, and its main industrial application is to preserve cadavers in mortuaries. There's a clue for you right there. So effectively, diet soda drinkers are embalming themselves. And at least they'll look good in an open casket. The formaldehyde converts into formic acid, another toxin. Formic acid is used as an activator to strip epoxy and urethane coatings. So imagine what it's doing inside your body, to your body tissues. Now, if you think your body's lacking in paint remover, why don't you go down to your local hardware store, buy a gallon of the stuff, and start taking a teaspoon or two each day? What? That doesn't sound appealing? Well, how the hell does drinking diet soda sweetened with aspartame make any sense to you? The troops of Desert Storm were treated to large amounts of diet soda drinks, which had been heated to over 86 degrees Fahrenheit in the Saudi Arabian sun, and many of them returned home with various disorders, similar to those seen in people who've been chemically poisoned by formaldehyde. Gulf War syndrome, anyone? In 1993, the FDA further approved aspartame as an ingredient in many food items that would always be heated to above 86 degrees Fahrenheit. And on the 27th of June 1996, the FDA removed all limitations from aspartame, allowing it to be used in everything, including all heated and baked foods. So there you have it. It's FDA approved, friends. Corporation approved. So it must be safe. Most victims don't have a clue that aspartame may be the cause of their problems. I've never seen anything like a list of side effects this long in all my years of research, both for the AT handbook and because I also wanted to make informed nutritional choices in my own life. It's the only food additive I know of approved by the FDA that causes a list of symptoms like this, and also mimics the diseases you see listed here. Now, you may have symptoms, believing you have multiple sclerosis or Parkinson's disease, for example. And what you really have is aspartame poisoning, which may have been misdiagnosed in your case. If you detoxified your body and got off the aspartame, the symptoms might be reversible and disappear. Phenylalanine and aspartic acid, which make up 90% of aspartame's formula, are also neurotoxins when certain other essential amino acids are missing. Phenylalanine breaks down into DKP, which is known to cause brain tumors. Aspartic acid is a well-known excitotoxin. An excitotoxin, in layman's terms, is something that hyperactivates the nerve receptors in your brain to such a degree that they burn out and die. My brain hurts. Now, the moral to this story is that anything containing artificial sweetener isn't fit for human consumption. Technology can be great, but we shouldn't be eating it. And you should avoid the following technology like the plague. Now, one solution to the refined sugar chemical sweetener problem is raw honey. As well as its use as a natural sweetener, raw honey can also be applied to open wounds, scars, cuts, and abrasions as a very effective antiseptic. It's also said to have anti-cancer properties. Have you ever noticed that? These natural cures for diseases may not always be free, but they're invariably easy to obtain, and they're cheap, which is why the pharmaceutical companies don't like them. Now, it'll be a long time before any of the big pharmaceutical companies start experimenting with honey. If it cures cancer, that's the last thing they want out there in the marketplace. Cancer is a $500 billion a year industry. Curing cancer might destroy our economies. You could try to outlaw honey, though, which is what Codex Alimentarius is all about. You can't patent nature, and therefore you can't make any money out of it. So you create legislation that makes natural therapies illegal, without a license from the very people who are attempting to stamp it out. You know that warning label you see on tobacco packets? I bet you thought that warning label was forced upon the tobacco industry, didn't you? I'm afraid not. The tobacco companies realized it would serve them well in the long run, because once that warning label's on there, their legal liability is terminated, and you don't have a leg to stand on. Still, though, they did get the word cancer changed to the kinder, gentler, hazardous. Cancer is bad for sales, don't you know? Now, the good folks bringing you aspartame are now in the same position as the tobacco industry was back then, and you can bet your sweet life that you'll be seeing more warning labels on these aspartame-containing products in the very near future. Which simply means they can't be sued when a member of your family kicks the bucket after drinking a liter of Coke Zero. And you thought it was for your protection. So either wake up or stay in a stupor. As always, it's your choice. I'd like to offer a special thank you to Hio for her usual invaluable contribution to this channel. Please be sure to download the Poison for Profit info pack from the AT website for info on filters and lots of other goodies. In the meantime, study up, empower yourself. Thanks for listening.
Why you wanna poison me? With your chemical concoctions in my water. Why you wanna poison me? Why you wanna poison me? Why you wanna poison me? With your chemical concoctions in my water.